Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this wonderful world. Good morning from me and my knackered knee. I thought I'd drop by and do a quick video. I'm going to try and do this once a week. Now, I would do a live video, but Facebook is changing a lot of things, so I might even have to start putting these videos on YouTube. I don't know, but I wanted to do a video at least once a week with a recap of the news and also just you to hear my voice. Sometimes I get to express things much clearer and with more sentiment than typing them out can do. So let's go through the news. Today's date is the 31st of August, talking about my knackered knee. A sincere apology to everybody who was looking forward to cruising with me on the Carnival Legend. And I know you're going to enjoy Greenland. I'm so sorry I can't be there, but I really have to take care of my knee. I'm having NCL surgery, which won't be epic, on September the 11th. So I can't be there with you. And if I was to get a job on the ship right now, I'd be working at the brewery in charge of the hops, because that's all I'm doing is hopping around. Anyway, let's start with the hurricanes, and most importantly and most sincerely to anybody that has been in the path of the latest hurricane. I hope you're okay. Some of you have written to me and checked in. I saw a gentleman who wrote to me who lost his dock. He had a brand new dock outside of his house that's been swept away. Another lady told me that her house had a tree fall right into the middle of it. So that is completely destroyed. Luckily, they were evacuated, so they're not there. But going back to that devastation must be absolutely terrible. So my thoughts are with all of you. I posted something at the top of the page today that said, please check in. And I would be grateful if you would do that just to let me know that you're safe. Now, the effects of the ship are, of course, that we have some ships that are now sitting outside of Jacksonville and Tampa, and, of course, a little bit later in the week, possibly other ports as well. I believe Port Canaveral is open, and that's great news. There'll be another update from the Beards this morning, and I will share that with you. I do want to say to everybody who's going to be waiting to cruise today, I know these are not the best ways to start your cruise off. Please sign up for the text alerts. Please keep checking the website, and please keep checking my page here, and we'll give you all the news. Please don't go to the terminal building until you hear that we are ready to welcome you. And thank you for your patience. We are desperate to get you on board. We really, really are. And to those people who are on the ship and possibly reading this, well, of course, you're going to get possibly an extra few hours on board the ship. The crew will take wonderful care of you. If you are angry that because of a hurricane, the ship cannot get into the home port yet, please don't show that anger to the crew. Please don't scream and shout at somebody who just yesterday was hosting a game of beanbag toss or changing some money at guest services. Please don't shout at them. They don't deserve that. It's way beyond their control. We have to wait for the port authority to say the port is open. Then we can come in. Then we have to disembark. And then we have to wait for the guests to be able to come on board. It's going to take a massive dollop of patience over the next couple of, the next day at least. So please, in advance, can I thank you for that? And our ultimate goal will always be to provide you the fun, but just above that, to keep you safe. Always safe. That remains paramount.
Oh, YouTubers, check me. This is Cookie, your cruise director on the Carnival Horizon down in Miami, Florida. Trust me, number one, you want to follow this man's channel, Coach Cruise, because he's the absolute best coach out here. Not about fitness, but about cruising. Trust me, he's going to make sure you have the best time ever because he knows the ins and outs of every cruise that you go on. So click that like, follow button, and share more about this brother right here. Not only is he my coach, but he's my cousin. We'll see you all on the next cruise. Until then, we're out of here. All right.
Now, I want to say g'day, mate, to my friends, and you can probably tell from my accent here that I'm saying g'day, mate, to everybody down there in the Bonza country. We're, of course, talking about Cleveland, Australia. And great news for my Australian friends was that yesterday the Australian government dismissed all the COVID protocols, so you don't have to do all the testing and everything that was still being involved with cruising from Australia. And that's great news indeed. And a massive thank you to all my Australian friends and from New Zealand who cruise regularly on Carnival Splendor. Carnival Luminosa will be on her way back soon at the end of September on her Trans-Pacific. Lots of you wrote to me yesterday about the COVID protocols for the Trans-Pacific cruise, leaving from Seattle on a 30-day adventure down to Australia. We are still looking at that, so please don't ask me, do I need a test? Because I don't know. My colleagues are working on that. We will promise to have an answer for you in the very foreseeable future, so please hang tight for that. Now that takes me on to COVID, because I've had a lot of people write to me about this, and I wanted to address that in this video today. Now, COVID is still very much part of our lives. It's around, it's still there, just like colds and flu and all the other stuff. We have to be careful of it. But some of you have written, are we going back to mask wearing? Some of you are saying, are we going back to COVID protocols? Some of you have written demanding that we go back to wearing masks, which we're not. But I think there's a little bit of general unease about this. And some of you have reported that after your cruise that you have come home and you have tested positive for COVID. So I wanted to ask my colleague, my great friend and our Chief Communications Officer, Chris, I wanted to ask him where we stand with this at the moment. So I'm going to move my eyes dramatically to my laptop. I'm going to read you out what Chris has said. And I wanted to share this because he's a brilliant chap, and I think he gets this answer absolutely. He really does get it spot on. This is what we're saying at the moment. Chris says, we are sorry to hear you got sick at some point on your travels. This was in reply to somebody that wrote to me and said they weren't feeling well after the cruise. And we do wish you a speedy and full recovery. Here's the most important thing. As you know, the Center for Disease Control and the World Health Organization have both declared an end to the public health emergency associated with COVID-19. So we are all exposed to potential variants in our everyday activities, and most certainly not just on cruise ships. Specific protocols for US cruises were lifted in 2022, and there are no special protocols for cruising in most parts of the world. While vaccines are not required, we encourage all guests 5 years of age and older to be up to date with their COVID-19 vaccines when eligible and carry proof of vaccination, and that guidance is posted on carnival.com. Now, a lot of you asked about the crew. We also make vaccines and boosters available to all of our crew and continue our thorough onboard cleaning standards. Testing is not required for either vaccinated or unvaccinated guests. However, we encourage all guests 5 years and older to take a pre-cruise COVID-19 test within 3 days of their cruise. With the emergency lifted, it is important that individuals take the precautions they feel are necessary for their own health. So I hope that helps answer those questions. I know there's this new variant, and as Chris says there, the protocols have been lifted by the Center for Disease Control, the World Health Organization, and it is important, though, that individuals, you do what is best for you, and please look after your own health. I'm sure you have been, and I'm sure you will be. And the last thing I want to say is, I'm trying to get this under 10 minutes, is about gratuities. There is a Facebook page, and there are some people that write on there who seem to wake up in the morning and just have one thing in mind. They want to post as much nonsense, bits and pieces that are absolutely 100% true in order just to wind you up and probably me as well. And some of these bits and pieces are as real as the entire cast's bits and pieces on the Real Housewives of Cleveland. Gratuities. Let me just say this, and I'm going to look right in the camera now. We do not take gratuities from the crew members to pay for their salaries. And anybody who says we're doing that is, I don't want to say lying because that's a harsh word, but they are. So there you go. Please, if you have a question about gratuities, please ask me. Please don't believe what Mr. and Mrs. Glitterknickers are saying for no other reason except for just to cause you and I a little bit of anxiety. So, Ajda, as a captain. John, you are giving me Ajda. Thank you, Captain. Anyway, listen, I've got to go and answer your questions. So thank you. That's the news for the today. If there's any updates, we will keep you informed. And let me take this opportunity again to say thank you for your friendship, your taking part in everything. I answered loads of questions yesterday, people asking about 2024. Yes, cruises are booking very quickly. A lot of them are already sold out. Please don't miss out because the fun is waiting for you. That's it from me. See you soon. From me and my knackered knee, have a great day. Cheers.
Do such an awesome job.
Oh, sure.
And secondly, and this one is huge, like and subscribe. Ring that notification bell so you know when this man is posting more videos.
I appreciate that you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Lee.
I just can't get away from a good time.